Working. Ready. Accessing library computer data. This computer terminal provides full access to the LCAR's computer net. It can be operated both by voice and keypad commands.
Infinite power.
Meeting started. Well, recording rather.
So let's, I guess we need to get started. Probably a good idea, maybe it's the meeting.
Well,
the meeting
yeah.
we're going to have. The meeting. We're going to start the meeting. Yeah, let me start the meeting so we can talk about some things. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Negative.
Oink, oink.
Oh, joyous. Right, so this is our first fleet meeting for the year, and probably, we waited till November to do it, but many of you have been here this year. Some of you have been here since the beginning, but of course, obviously, one of the big things I want to go over is SAW was reformed in October of 2011, now 2016, so that's a good thing, and we're growing. We've added Armored Warfare to the list this year, and it has grown in leaps and bounds. Stow is kind of, it's slowed down, but we're putting work back into it now that Armored's kind of taking care of itself. We found a good division commander to help there. And then there's a few people below the division commander to help out quite a bit. The other thing I want to kind of go over is what we're going to try to do 2017, and then of course we're going to be doing a Christmas thing this year. It's going to be a little bit different for you that have been here. We're still going to do the Stowe side of the Christmas event, the Santa Claus contest. We haven't quite decided yet how we're going to do a contest or what we're going to do for Armored Warfare, but there will be something for that. If the Old Republic takes off and is running pretty smoothly by then, we'll probably do something for it too. So, do you have anything to add to that, Wrecker, on any of them?
No. I just was going to go over we're still looking for some suggestions. We have a couple of really good suggestions on the way to do prize giveaway for the non-Stowe people, so they don't feel slighted. But we do have some really good suggestions. We already have, no matter what we do, we've already got one prize for those people, especially for the armored people. We're looking if somebody can give us some suggestions after the meeting. That would be great. Talk to me, Rage, send us a message. And that's about it on that.
Okay. Some of you noticed the command list or admiral list, whatever you want to call it, has changed this year. Chris stepped down due to real life. Paul is slowly starting to return. He's working toward it. Wrecker has really stepped up this year, though, and he has become a fleet leader. He's worked very hard. He's always pulled the slack when I've not been around, so that's good. He helps me out quite a bit with this stuff, so I do appreciate that. One of the other people that I've noticed has worked pretty hard, Psycho. Psycho has knowledge from World of Tanks, which he has brought here and helped many members learn. So another thing that I appreciate. Little Tank has been busy recruiting. He's always posting recruitment messages when he logs into the game. He doesn't spam, he just posts a message, hey, here's a group. If you're not in one, you're looking to join, we have TeamSpeak, we use this. He works pretty hard toward that.
Yes, he does.
Gage has stepped up a little bit this year. He is taking care of management and TeamSpeak, and he is also now a division leader for, which side is it? I forget. I know it starts with an H.
Harbinger, sir. Side.
For Harbinger. We're probably going to treat Star Wars the same way we do Star Trek Online. You know, we have the KDF side, we have the Fed side. So for each one of these sides, we have division leaders. And the reason we don't just assign one division leader to the game is because that becomes a lot of work for that one person. We don't want that one person to get overloaded with a workload. Then they kind of lose the enjoyment that the game is meant to have and the enjoyment that we try to have here in the group. So we spread that out. We do have a group in Harbinger, and we have one in Bastion. Reb is there in Bastion. Bastion, I think we actually started back in 2012, but it just fell to the wayside. So the plan is to get both sides going and just see how things go there. You know, that's a big thing for 2017.
Gage, you know this. Gage and Trevor, you guys know this better than Rage and I. Bastion is PvP, correct? And Harbinger is not, is less PvP?
Bastion
general,
is,
yes.
yeah.
Okay. So if you want to do more PvP on Star Wars, you pretty much want to go to Bastion. If you want to do less PvP, you go to Harbinger.
The big goals for 2017 is more growth. We want to get Star Trek Online back up and running. We want to continue growing Armored Warfare. You know, Armored Warfare has released a lot of things this year. Their last patch, they kind of messed a few things up. Hopefully they're going to fix that. And then, of course, our newest addition is Star Wars. One of the big things for that is it's going to be slow growing. You know, anytime we start a division like Armored Warfare, Wrecker was in Armored Warfare for a while last year, and he was trying to get me into it. And I said, you know, it's going to be like World of Tanks. Here we go. But finally jumped onto it, and then it's grown. It's been a project, but it's grown, and now it's looking after itself, and you know, that's a good thing. And I'm hoping Star Wars will follow in the same suit. And we get the division commanders in these positions so that it continues to grow. Something else that I'm hoping for next year is that we get something that will be first-person shooter, or you know, maybe go back and look at Combat Arms. Maybe look at Gage, what was that other game we used to play?
You're asking me?
Planes. What the hell? War Thunder. I'd like to see War Thunder maybe fire back up. And some people have showed interest in having a World of Tanks division, so that may happen, but it's very hard to do recruitment and grow there. They're set up now. There's also been interest showed in Warframe and Dreadnought. Dreadnought, I think when they introduce the setup, will be an interesting game. It's kind of like so, but they have a big PvP open area, and then, if I remember, some PvE missions too.
Yeah.
But the problem... Go ahead.
There's a learning curve in Dreadnoughts, especially because it's kind of like, for those, I want to base it on something. The only other game I can base it on is SWTOR, Star Wars. It has a lot of abilities that you need to learn how to use properly.
Kind of like Eve, but
okay,
watered down quite a bit.
All right. Yeah, I never played Eve.
Sorry, can I just can we just be careful what you say of language-wise within the game chat, because I am recording and I'm not going to edit it out.
Nobody said anything.
I'm just reminding you.
I know, it's just asking. The other thing if we go one of these routes, and it's possible if you have an interest or something. Now, if somebody brings a game to interest and there's possible growth and you have knowledge in that, it's possible that you'll end up with that responsibility for it. Psycho kind of volunteered himself.
No, I didn't. You assigned me.
I won't say assigned. He was just knowledgeable. But the thing is,
Let's be real. I ticked you off one night and you gave me responsibility.
I'll say ticked. I say
I
it
remember
was a
what
good
that
learning
was.
experience. But when we
Both smell like elderberries.
here's something: when we pick a division commander, or we're looking at leadership positions, or any position where you have a responsibility, there's a few things we look at. One is your knowledge of the game, but if you know the game inside and out, but you have an attitude that just says I'm better than you and have to do what I say, there's a good possibility that you're never going to actually grow in this group, because we're we just don't deal with anyone who brings drama. If we wanted drama, we'd stay at work.
The word you're looking for is discipline.
Well, yes, discipline. That would be another good word for it.
Come on.
We have channels for you. Some of you that are new, we have a smoke cut channel. That's a pretty much everything goes channel. The rest of the channels, control yourself, or we'll remind you, say, hey, not the smoke cut channel. It's just, and the smoke code is like an 18 plus, so if there's people in here that are under the age can't enter that channel just because of that. You got anything you want to add to that, Wrecker?
User in your channel recording.
No, I can't. You kind of covered the basics on that. It's not. No one's going to be. If somebody comes up to one of us and asks for leadership, chances are we're going to evaluate it from that point. It's not going to. No offense, Gage, but you had to show us that you were ready for the responsibility. And honestly, you did step up, and you've done really well with that, taking that assignment. And I'm proud for you. And Psycho, same thing. It was you were kind of thrust upon the position, but you've done really well taking over it. And we've got a couple of other leaders that we felt it was in Saw's best interest to give them a rank within the fleet. One of them is Z-Man, another one is Redleg, who unfortunately can't be here tonight. But they showed the ability to be leaders. And after conversations between Rage and myself and the commanders and Psycho, it was given to them. Not everybody's gonna be a good fit for leadership, and that's okay. We need people to follow and be part of the group and just help out others. Thank you very much for those of you who just sit back and relax and help out others and have fun with the game, because we need people like that.
And saying that, a lot of us have jobs that we dislike or are stressful for the day. We come home, and this is kind of like the getaway. It's the let's just get back and have fun, and that's what we do. And some of you who've been here have known a few that have kind of caused the drama, and they haven't stayed. We don't put up with that. This is I'm not going to use the word brotherhood because that just sounds kind of cheesy, but it's a close group that pretty much everybody knows everybody.
So cheesy.
And if
It's
you're
a
new here
mature
and you
relationship,
stay
right?
around,
It's a mature relationship. That's what you're looking for.
I think it's more than just that, but yeah.
and I'm going to use Korg as an example. Korg comes in, goes down to his office, runs his stuff. Somebody needs help, he helps them. But, I understand Korg deals with people all day. He don't wants, peace, quiet, do his job. And for example, he has put a lot of work in on the KDF side, and he has grown the bases over there, and does an excellent job at it. Excellent.
Thank you, sir.
Now, to kind of move on, we are looking to fill some positions at some point. We will be looking for recruitment officers for Star Trek Online, both KDF and Federation. We will also be looking for a division commander for the Federation side. Korg will be looking around for a XO to help him. And then we'll also, of course, be looking for an XO to help with the Federation side when there's a division commander there. If you think, or somebody, again, it comes in with your knowledge, but also your mentality. And that's things we look at too. So, some of you we may be talking to in the future, if you're willing to take that responsibility. Yes, it's a lot of work. And if you don't, there's no hard feelings over it. There's a lot of people here that have stepped back into fleet officer positions because they just don't have the time to be on all the time. And that's fine. That's not a big deal.
That's one thing. That's one thing that I've seen in other fleets versus like specifically on Star Trek, that people are really pushy. Like you got to be on all the time. We understand, Rage and I, and Korg and Daz and all the leadership here. We understand that life happens. You gotta roll with the punches here. But like Farmer's a perfect example. He goes through stints where he's really busy, and then all of a sudden he's in TeamSpeak and in game for a long stretch. Trevor the same way. He does what he does for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then all of a sudden he's back in TeamSpeak playing all the games we play for 4 days while he's home.
Yeah,
So
being a truck
we
driver
understand.
sucks.
We understand life happens.
And if you think for some reason you're not going to be home for a long period of time, the place form is called active leave. Drop something there. That way we know, so that we don't go, oh, they're not coming back, and you get removed. Just as long as we know, it's great. Moving along from that, the next thing is recruitment. We have got to, of course, continue working on recruitment, division commanders, and Little Tank. You've done a really good job in armored warfare for recruitment. You have been pushing that, and that's greatly appreciated. For our division commanders in the other games, let's start looking for someone who can help with recruitment, be a recruitment officer. But of course, big job, I always throw just a message out there. For Star Trek Online, there's a thing up there. Here's information. But it's not just their job either. We want everyone to do recruitment because, if you see someone you think is good in one of the games we're playing, recruit them. As long as they're not in another group. Now, if they're in another fleet, another battalion, another squadron, don't go and ask them. We don't want to be the guys known for poaching, you know. I guess we'll start going over the different games and what people have in mind for these games in the coming year. With that, we'll start with Korg for...
One second before you do that.
Okay.
If any of you who, obviously you're all on TeamSpeak, if you don't know how to get to our Forums Clan webpage, there's a little icon right on the TeamSpeak page that will
With all
lead
due
you to it.
respect, dude, the kid's screaming. Come on. Sorry.
It's life, Gage. I'm sorry. But if you don't know how to get to the forums page, just click on that, and that'll get you there. And you can see, I know Rage, Psycho, myself, a couple of other people have been posting stuff regularly in there. So you can check it out. You can keep up to date with us. And that's also where you would put your app actively. That's the easiest way to get to it if you don't know how to if you don't have the link for it.
I did drop a link in the bottom of the Fleet Meeting channel, so take you there, sign up. Now there is kind of, in the forums itself, there is a guideline for the STO members of how you grow, how you get promoted. For example, 100,000 fleet credits, and that's credits earned between, say, Soldiers at War, Symphony at War, or our KDF side, get you access to our fleet bank. 350,000 get you access to the store so you can buy things. Now, if you have more than one character, you know, say one character earns 25,000, another character earns 75,000, or right there's 100,000. If we overlook that, just say, hey, I think I've earned this, and we'll, of course, fix it so that you can get access to the bank or access to the fleet store. And the other big thing is when we do recruitment, and I'm kind of changing gears a little bit, but back to the recruitment thing is, say, hey, you know, we've got TeamSpeak. Let's see if we can get people on and interested again. And the reason I push this is, and Psycho will tell you this, and people in Stowe will tell you this, and Gage from Star Wars will tell you this. It's a whole lot easier to say, hey, there's a weasel sitting over there on the hill. Can you go get him? Or Artie's sitting up there at A8, instead of sitting there typing him. Because the time you type it, the Artie may take another shot and finish you off. And say, Wrecker was close to it and could have shot the Artie. You know, that's just an example.
Also, to touch on that, Rage, it's also funner when you're able to play and talk at the same time. So you're not interrupting your gameplay to type something out in chat, right?
Yeah, it's just a great deal of help. Something exciting in the Federation side, they introduced or not Federation, but in Stowe, team. We're looking at about 6 more days before we have access to that. To the people who have been working on the KDF side and the Fed side, Zerakians have been working very hard to grow that base so we have access to the stuff for the fleet stuff base. Appreciate it. I'm going to let Korg go over the KDF side now, just so you have an idea of everything and what he's planning for next year. And again, we'll go from there. All right, Korg, it's all yours.
All right, man. Let me just pull this stuff up so we can all be on the same page. I was talking with someone the other day. Okay, that's our recruiting. We have a recruiting. This is what we use for KDF side. Soldiers at War is currently recruiting for members. We are a mature and well-organized fleet and well-established with projects at the time I wrote this, it was at tier 2 or 3. We're a little bit further now thanks to your help. We use a TeamSpeak server while in game. We welcome new members. We have fun as a fleet. And let me find out this other. Okay. the way we promote within the game, Chris and myself and Rage, you remember when we did the soft frequently asked questions
Yes.
on the KDF side, what can the fleet do for me? The answer is we as a fleet can apply help with bills. We also can train you in ways of STS or Special Task Force help with missions and leveling. Question, how do I get promoted within the fleet? Answer is, has to be earned by contributing to fleet projects, and the stats are lieutenant. You have to contribute at least 100,000 to have access to the fleet bank. Commander, you have to contribute 250,000 to have access to all fleet stores. Captain, you have to contribute 500,000. Increased limit withdrawal from fleet bank. Any rank above captain is decided by fleet admiral. How do I get command officer rank? Answer is be very knowledgeable in the game and achieve previous ranks. And then of course we have the soft forums and websites, which is softiclan.com. Any list of any activity needs to be posted on the forums or conveyed to a command officer. For any further information, please look at these forums. Now, usually sometimes when I talk to Rage, he knows that I can be kind of particular on the KDF side because I've been over here since basically day one, and I'm really a nursemaid on the KDF side. Lately, we have been really doing well, and I contribute that to not to me, because I can't do it. I've asked Wrecker on numerous occasions, man, come help me out, man. I've ran out of expertise. You know, I've been in the fleet now for a couple of years on the KDF side, and to run out of expertise is because I'm trying to get all of these projects up and running. And he does. He comes and he helps me out. But lately, everybody's pitched in thing. So I posted on the holdings that everything is open to contribute to, because everything is up and running right now. And I thank the fleet for that, because I've been trying for the longest to get this side up and going. And right now, within the past month or so, it's really been doing well. And that's not because of me. It's because of the fleet. The things that we want to continue to do for next year is basically the same thing. We want to be a tier 5 or tier 3 fleet, and we want to be excellent in everything we do. We operate on a level of excellence. That's what we do. That's why I have stayed in this fleet. It's a mature fleet. We don't have a lot of kids running around cursing and using profanity, and if that was what Saul was, I would not be here today. And majority of the people know that. And we all respect one another, and we all respect the chain of command. That's one thing that I really like about this fleet. And so whoever comes over on the KDF side, these are the things that I really expect. And I do want you to be in TeamSpeak. And don't think that I don't look when you're on, just to see if you're in TeamSpeak. And I must say, that's one thing that we do have a problem with. A lot of times you're on the game and you're in the game, and I see you in the game, but you're not on TeamSpeak.
Now, remember, Korg, if people do not, even if people promote, but they fail to get on TeamSpeak, they do not get their promotions.
I understand that.
Okay.
And this is one reason why this is the exact reason why I am stating it now, because we have a lot of people in this team meeting right now. I'm looking at the roster. So with that being said, it wouldn't be fair for me to demote you or to not promote you, because maybe you're new to the fleet and you did not know. So that wouldn't be fair to you. Even though it's posted, you need to be on TeamSpeak. We are an international fleet. We have a lot of fleet members that don't speak English. And if they do, it's very hard to understand them over the accent and their dialect. So we have to be understanding and respectful of that also. So, but once you're in the team meeting and we can kind of get some things straight, that this is a prerequisite of being promoted, especially on the KDF side. I do a lot of stuff on the Fed side because I have some Fed characters, but when I'm done, like with the Crystalline Entity event, when I get through taking care of them, I'm back on the KDF side. This is my home. This is where I am. This is why Rage put me over here. So in the midst of that, I'm very proud of what you guys have done on the KDF side. It's growing. The last month or so, it has jumped. Oh my God, I can't even begin to imagine. And I'm so proud of the fleet because I couldn't do it. I don't have the assets to do it. So uh, within 2017 that's coming up, hopefully by then, with the way things are going now, we will be a tier 5, tier 3 fleet through and through, from the KDF side to the Fed side. And uh, what I hope to see is that maybe Rage, if you think about it, maybe later on we get a sub fleet like we do with over on the Fed side, maybe on the KDF side once we get maxed out here, so that we can keep the incentive up. Every now and then, not Ray, but Ricker helps me out. Sometimes with recruiting, we talk about it all the time. And it's the same thing. I will copy and paste that recruiting message that I read earlier. I won't spam it. I will copy and paste it. If I talk to someone, I'll tell them, just join the fleet for a minute and look and see what our assets are. If you're not happy with that, then by all means, you're free to leave. We don't want to trick anybody. We're not trying to put some false advertising out. We want you to join the fleet because you want to join the fleet, because if you really like the fleet like I do, you will stay with it and contribute. We don't want no freeloaders. We want someone that's going to actually come here and stay here and work and have fun in what we do. One of the things that we did before, and I was talking with Record the other day, was the fact that we used to do a lot of fleet missions just to see where your DPSing is, and Chris was really good at that. We'd go through and he would say, okay, you might need to do this or you might need to do that to help with the ship bills, so that we can all be a well-versed, well-rounded fleet. And I think we kind of got away from that a little bit, but maybe that'll start coming back. But this is a good fleet. I've been here now for 3 years, 4 years. I can't even remember, 5 years.
Almost 5.
Yeah, been here all that time, and I have not even considered leaving the fleet to go anywhere else. This is a great fleet. It's like I say, it's a mature fleet. We're all grown people. We're all grown men, and grown women for those women that are in the fleet. And we follow the chain of command. That's one thing I like. I'm ex-military, 101st, 2nd Screaming Eagles. So I believe in a command structure. That's why I'm still here. And one of the things that we have a command structure, and we all respect that command structure, and we follow the left order given. That's how it is in the military. That's how it is in this fleet. It may sound corny, but that's how it is. And we all get along. We don't have no bickering. We don't have no fighting. All that stuff is done away with. And that's why I like this fleet. So I think that with, just on the road that we're on right now for 2017, I think we're going to be good. There needs to be some more recruiting, but you know what? I would rather have a few. And this is the military in me. I'd rather have a few good men than have a whole bunch of bad guys. That's all it is. All right, guys, I'm done.
One thing I want to add to what you said about the recruiting, if somebody comes to us and says, hey, look, I'm working on getting a headset, my headset doesn't work, that's why I'm not using TeamSpeak, say, okay, you need to let us know, but we're not going to give you indefinitely, and you're still not going to get the promotions unless you, even if they log in and sit down in the AFK room, that's still logging in, it's still showing that they're attempting it. Because I understand there are people out there that just don't have, we've got a few college students that play, and they just don't have the money to buy the headset. And trust me, I've been in the situation, I understand. But if they don't tell us this stuff, we don't know. We can't do anything. We can't tell them, hey, just go to the AFK channel. You don't have to, or just if you've got speakers on your computer, just listen to us. If we can talk to you, you're gonna hear what we're saying. You don't have to respond. As long as we know. If we don't know, we can't do anything about it.
That's right. And usually when I'm on, like I'm on the KDS side right now, usually what I do when I see if there's a few members, I will look at that drop box where it says overall holding contribution to see how much you have contributed to the fleet. And you may, if you contributed over 250,000 or whatever the prerequisite is for promotion, and even though you haven't said anything, I will automatically promote you. I mean, that's just it. I mean, I will automatically do that if I see that you've met the prerequisite. If you're a back and you contribute 250,000, so now you're a commander, but you're still a back, you don't have to say, hey man, I would like to be promoted. I will automatically promote you because of your contribution. Because I'm always over and I'm always looking. Don't think I'm not. But I'm done.
I want to add a couple things that Korg said there and Wrecker. First one being TeamSpeak. If they don't have a microphone, they can still at least log in and listen. What's going on.
That's what I said.
They'll at least know that. And again, he said, if they're uncomfortable in the Smoke Cut channel, they can go to one of the others or the AFK. We have so muted channels for each game that we are active in now. We will. The other thing was recruitment. One thing, like when Korg said, if we look and we pay attention, if, in the Stowe side, if you have hit that level, we'll promote you. And then, we'll go and tell Daz, hey, this person has been promoted. And Daz will go to the forums sometime during that day and he'll write a list up there and post it in our promotions tab so that we know. Then this also gives us an idea when everybody's been promoted, why they were promoted, and that helps out too. The Federation side, again, we are going to be looking for a division commander there and then a XO to help there. The goal for 2017 is to finish the base up tier 5. I think beginning of 2017 is probably the reasonable number. Maybe the end of 2016 that we'll finish K13. I don't know. Everybody's been working very hard and keeping the projects running, so that is really good. The big thing overall for Stowe over 2017 is recruitment and getting the numbers. But again, like Korg said, a few good men versus, a TeamSpeak full of people you can't stand. You log in, you go, oh, he's on. Oh, Trevor's on. I'm just going to log back off. Sorry, Trevor, using you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
But it works.
I log off when I see Trevor.
Well, Paul does. I know that. Because he thinks he's better than me, but...
No, I don't think it.
Oh,
but the thing of it is...
Yeah, room you two.
But the thing of it is, everyone here, like Korg said, you look at the list of people, and for the most part, this group is a mature group. We have our Smoke Cut channel just so everybody can enjoy, have fun.
Blow off steam.
Yeah, blow off steam. If there's somebody there that makes you uncomfortable, go to another channel. Honestly, because unless it's racist or questioning command decisions, we're never really going to say anything to you there. The next thing is armored warfare. Wait, Wrecker, is there anything else we need to go over in Stowe?
The only thing I can think of is if you have any questions about a recruiting message, get with Rage, me, Korg, Paul if he's on.
I work.
At least Paul is trying to be. He's trying to be on more, so it's good.
Yeah,
I'm trying. I just work a lot.
Or Daz, and we'll help you in whatever game you're looking for. We will help you figure out a good recruiting message. That's how I started recruiting. I was like, hey, look, this is what my suggestion for a recruiting message is. And First time I went to Paul, and he's like, "Well, change this, this, and this." I did it a couple times. It still didn't work. Then I went to Rage, and we got it between the three of us, figuring out little niches. Not everybody's recruiting message is going to be the same, and that's fine. We don't want carbon. We want copies, but not carbon copies of for recruiting messages. Because if they start seeing carbon copies, they're going to say, "Oh, they're just saw spamming again," or in Armored, same thing. They're spamming again. Here they go, and we don't want that either.
But you know, in saying that, Little Tank has tucked the recruitment message in Armored Warfare, and he has put his own spin on it. And he's caught, you know, one or two negative flanks on that, but for the most part, you know, it has been successful. Now he doesn't always get somebody, and you know, he's always excited when he recruits somebody, and he pushes to get them on TeamSpeak, and then, you know, the next thing you know, he's got them in a platoon running missions with them in PVEs or global ops or whatever to get them kind of situated into the group.
And that's another thing. That's another thing. If they say no, don't take it personal. It's not. Don't worry about it. It's their own issues. Do not take it personal. As long as they're not physically accosting you, you're still in a game. You can walk away. You can shut it down if it gets too bad for the night.
Just always end it with, you know, if you're interested, feel free to message me. If not, sorry to bother you.
Right.
And the other thing is, there's a lot of people. I get a lot of people that want to join on the Federation side and stuff, but they're like, "Oh, you use TeamSpeak." Yeah, I can't do that. And I'll tell them, I say, "I'll invite you, but without you using TeamSpeak, you're never going to get the full experience of what you could have here." And I said, "It's just not, you know, it's not fair to the fleet, and it's not fair to you." And it's usually, I'll get a message, "Well, sorry to bother you, I'm just not comfortable with it." And I'll say, "Okay, if you are at some point, let me know." And I'll leave it at that. And I understand that, and that's fine. The other thing to remember on the Federation side for Christmas, there will be another Santa Claus costume contest, and anybody that is not fleet leader can take part in that.
And if anybody's interested, this is our 4th year in participating with that.
So we didn't do the Halloween thing this year, but we will bring that back next year. We just waited too long to get that done. And part of that is I have been so busy, I've just not been able to schedule meetings and events. And we are going to work on events for every game that we play to bring more variety back to Saw. All right, so we're going to move along now to Armored Warfare and Psycho. So it's all yours.
All right. Afternoon, gentlemen. Yep. I came into this fleet about a year ago. And to be perfectly honest, I've never stayed anywhere very long. I think it's because of Rage, Wrecker, and the one conversation I had with Korg that I'm still here. I generally don't get along with people, and you guys have been absolutely freaking wonderful. Putting up with my voices. So I ended up with the command of Armored, and thanks to Wrecker and Rage, I have probably the best crew of subordinates I could ever ask for. I have a wonderful XO and Z-Man. I have an awesome S3. I have Little Tank as my, Red's my S3, and Little Tank is my recruiter. He's done an awesome job, save one incident, which Trevor fixed for me, and I appreciate that very much.
I did.
As far as what we got, TeamSpeak seems to be the biggest issue because when you're running these tanks, you've got a major league issue with communication. You can't stop and type because your tank sits dead and you just became a target. And it's basically, I have 65 people right now in Armored Warfare. I know maybe 20, 25 of them. Most of them don't use it. Most of the time you don't even know they're on. It's a little bit of an issue. On the upside, we went into a tournament a couple weeks back and placed second. All the guys that were involved with it did an outstanding job. I'd like to see tries to get into more and more of these tournaments, and now that I have my weekends off, I'll be more available for them. As far as, like I said, Little Tank recruiting, he's doing an awesome job. I tried a few, but most people are saying about Discord as a communication system, and I haven't brought that up before, but Discord's complicated. They had me dragging into it for the tournament. I had nothing but trouble with it. I'm not tech savvy. The one thing I do want to do this year is a more involved mentoring process. I've ended up with some of Wrecker's children, and I've been trying to teach them how tanks work, how to angle, ammunition selection, upgrades and stuff like that. And basically that's about it for me. I mean, outside of the game being the way it is after the last patch, and there's other issues with number of players on it. I don't know how long Armored Warfare is going to continue, because if they keep messing up patches like they did the last time, the population is going to drop to 0. Other than that, like I said, I got 65 people, and we can move on from there.
And to kind of add what Sacco said there, Sacco joined, like he said, about a year ago. He was kind of quiet when he joined, but he's grown, and he definitely adds enjoyment to Armored Warfare. So that has been great. He's really worked to grow and help. And, you know, regardless, like he says, voices, you know, he has grown Armored more than what I figured it would take off and do. So I do appreciate that. When he'd come to me and said, hey, you know, I was in a couple divisions in World of Tanks, and he told me what he had done. It gave me the information knowing he knew how to grow it. So I'm excited to see what he does in the next year with the Armored Warfare Division. I'm hoping we can get him some trainers to help him do training too. That would be good. Again, you know, and I come back to that, more jobs. Everybody has a job. That way, not all the responsibilities fall on one person. It's like I tell Wrecker, I don't want the responsibility to fall on me. I don't want all the responsibility to fall on you. I want to make sure everybody knows what's going on and they have their job so they can do it, so the game keeps its enjoyment for everybody. Do you have anything, Wrecker, you want to add to that?
No, not on that aspect. He's doing a great job. That's about it.
One thing I will add to the Armored Warfare Division, again, like he said, TeamSpeak is a must. I mean, it's just, if you cannot communicate with your group, you can't do the job, and you can't stop. You cannot stop your tank. I don't care if you're in a Challenger. I don't care if you're in a Weasel. You cannot stop your tank, period. And I said that backwards, but whatever.
Well, the same goes for any of the games that we're in. I mean, imagine 5 of us in Karat and Star Trek without TeamSpeak.
Well, see, and I'm going to use that for an example. We used to run Karat all the time, and I'm hoping we get back into Karat. You know, you've got your 2 tanks sitting out there, then you got your vape build sitting there. If you're not able to communicate with them, you're going to get splattered. I don't care what you've got.
Yeah. Your tank's going to say, hey, I'm getting shot. You know, for you to get in there and fucking fuck them up. If there's nobody there, it takes too long to type it.
Exactly.
And another thing, and I know this is about Armored. We've got a couple people that are enjoying the relationship that with the new global ops that is in Armored. Psycho, well, it's not his favorite task in Armored, but he will help you as much as he can, and he's there are players that want to do the PvP aspect of global ops. Just ask. But there again, you need TeamSpeak to do it. You
And
cannot coordinate if you don't have the team. You can't talk to them.
And I'm going to go back because I said in a little bit when they did the competition, and I just sat back and listened a little bit just to see how the group would run. I'm going to tell you, if Jens hadn't used TeamSpeak, Jens wouldn't have had the result that Jens did. That's just period.
Out of curiosity, I don't play Armored. I still play World of Tanks. But now in World of Tanks, or in Armored, do they have like a Clan Wars type structure yet? To where you guys battle for land or fortresses or whatnot?
No, not yet.
They plan on implementing it though?
They, from what I understand, they tried. Sorry to step on you. They tried it, but it's not working out the way they had hoped. So that's why they went the global ops direction.
Well, that means there's a good chance they might still implement it in the future. All the more reason to make sure to really instill the whole, come on guys, we need you in TeamSpeak.
They were planning on it, but they went more of the route of tournaments like Watt was going to do.
Oh yeah, I remember those when they tried that out.
But the tournaments so far have worked pretty well. And we've caught a couple of them, and we've always placed very well in them. Now, to add to what Psycho said, these members that are not using, and this goes kind of what Korg said too, these members that are not using TeamSpeak, we can make that grade A contact to make contact with them and try. But if they're not logging into TeamSpeak or platooning up, they're just taking up space. They're taking up space for somebody else that may take that. And Psycho, I don't know if you have the ability or not, but if you find, and I'm going to tell you all this now, if you are a division commander, and anyone that's in the Admiralty or anything else will tell you, if you make a decision and somebody is kicked from the group, there's a 99% chance that I'm not going to overturn it, because you're in that position because you've showed that you can lead that position. And why would I overturn something if you made a decision such and such couldn't do his job? Armor warfare is a little more aggravating about kicking people and promoting them, but it's there. So, that's something to keep in mind, division commanders. If you're watching and people are logging on, but they're not helping the group, they're not saying anything, say they go out there, and I'm going to use Skip as an example. Let's say Skip never logs on. Skip never runs in group, but he goes up there and he just starts bashing other groups, and that then gives us a bad name. Well, we don't know this, and then say we end up in a battle with another platoon. Well, it's all because Skip wasn't in the groups, but is up there talking smack. Actually, Jasper is a good example of that. And Jasper is no longer here.
Thank God.
But wait, isn't Jasper the one that started the whole thing when we first got it armored?
No.
Oh, okay.
Jasper was the one that was running around saying, he was just running around being Jasper, really. But he was causing us trouble, so he's no longer here because of that. Well, that's one of the reasons he's no longer here. He was doing that, but he was here, so, yeah. But yeah, so excited to see what happens in Armored Warfare at the end of this year, beginning of next year, through the year. Another thing, if the division commander is working with you, helping you, and this goes for in STO or Armored or Star Wars, if they're talking to you and they have knowledge, they're not picking on you. Say Psycho takes you into a tank battle and destroys you. Then he pulls back out and says, okay, if you use the AP rounds with these modules, you'll get better hits on your higher tiers. Versus the lower tiers, your heats will work better because the hull's softer. It's not because they're gloating, it's because they want to help you. And we used to do that in STO all the time. We'd take people into battle, we'd battle their ship, then we would look at their build, and we would make suggestions. It's not because we wanted to pick on you, it's because we want to help you grow and learn, because we're only as strong as our weakest member. So we want to make sure they can, it's just enjoyable for them if they can actually do something.
Hey, Rage, not to cut you off, but let me just say this, like, just what you just said, what we used to do when Chris came to the fleet. Chris was very knowledgeable in the game, and I was battling someone else, and I fired on Chris strictly by accident. Chris hit me with one shot, man, just blew me. I was space dust because I think what Chris is in the 50K channel or whatever kind of channel it is. You know, I mean, he just one shot, and I was gone. I was dead. I was a memory. But then he told me what I needed to do. So, I mean, it wasn't the fact that, like you said, Greg, you wasn't gloating, you wasn't laughing. Oh, man, I blew you out of the water. No, he said, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. That's what we do as a fleet. We find your weakness, and then we help you build on that weakness. Don't take it offensively, take it constructively.
Yeah, and that's like Chris on the same aspect too. When he first came in, I remember he was just awestruck that he just couldn't come in and bait me in Rage, and it pushed him even further to make his character even hit 80K.
That's right.
And to add to that, you know, Trevor was the same way, but Chris and Trevor could tell you about the group that they came from versus this one, and I'm sure, you know, there's things Psycho could say about old battalions that he was in versus this one. You know, I try and I preach this, you know, we have a structure, but a lot of the time, you know, I don't have to use it because everybody does their job and keeps themselves in check. So, and that's, trust me, I appreciate that, because the last thing I want is a message through Facebook or a text, such and such is doing something he doesn't need to be doing. He's causing problems, because then when I get in, or I've got to deal with that problem. But, you know, and Paul's been here a long time, and Farmer, he's in and out, but I'd like to think that I was trying to do this right so everybody enjoys it.
Oh my God, I just realized that was Farmer sitting across the fucking table.
Congratulations, you're a scrub.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, I have a character named that too, but it's just spelled slightly different. I only know one other person, and I was like, oh wait, that's fucking Farmer.
All right, so Reb's not here to talk about Bastion, but Bastion is the PvP at Star Wars, one of the PvP servers. So we will be working with it. Gage is doing the PvE side, and I forget the name because I've not got in there yet. Harbinger.
Yep.
I know Trevor has some experience there. Gage is learning, and he's trying to pass his knowledge down. Before I turn it over to Gage, I will say this. Gage this year has made efforts to step into a leadership role, and he's working pretty hard on it. I give him credit for that. He stepped up and he takes care of TeamSpeak server over here for us. So
You still
I do
need to
appreciate
clean your
that.
couch.
So now we're going to let Gage go over the basics with what he would like to do in 2017 on Harbinger, and we'll go from there.
I had like this mental list that I was a dumbass and forgot to write down, but I'll be writing that down afterwards.
Yeah, I always write it down when you're doing a meeting.
Yeah. No, I know better. But long story short, last night, Trevor and I bought the fleet ship. We went and bought that. Those things are 50 million credits a piece. Must be purchased by guild masters. Those can be brought up, but that's credits only. You can't drop these things with the cartel coins. And if I'm thinking right, that's per server per side. So the Imperial side, which I hope to expand into somewhere mid 2017. I'm in no rush to get into that server. I'd like to help Reb establish and get the Bastion server up and running again. And, maybe get 25 active people on. It's just in the roster. They don't have to be all on at once. I also want to get somewhere between 20 to 25 running on my server as well. I can't call it my server. That's wrong. But, yeah, that's basically
Your division.
Build and grow. And just get the bases going, get that foundation going. Ultimately, I want to see us help out with people. Now I'm remembering, help out people like grow, get their builds running. I know that the skill tree has changed quite a bit, but I've helped people run flashpoints. get their tutorials out of the way. We all love doing those, don't we? Yeah, just get that stuff out of the way. Hey, I'm only 2 weeks into that. I'm gonna probably kick recruitment into high gear this Monday. I've been meaning to do it for a week, but life has been occurring, and yeah. And in terms of life, I'm just gonna publicly announce that a Silver Sentra has been paid off. Finally, this month, she's done.
Which is now painted pink for some reason.
Screw you, that's your car. Anyway, but basically, my goal right now, somewhere between now and the end of first quarter 2017, is to get everything just up and running, and then we can focus on expanding, ships or et cetera, et cetera. I also want to get some of the core staff over in there as well. That way we can all help each other out, cross-train games, that kind of thing.
And to kind of add on that, and I'm going back to Star Trek because that's where we have most of our abilities. Like when Chris logged on, for example, it forced me and Paul to learn more on our tank builds because Chris kept growing on his DPS because he waned, and I see the same thing happening in Armored Warfare, and I see the same thing happening in Star Wars. As we log in there, we bounce ideals back and forth. We throw different builds. We edit the builds. And again, I'm going to go back kind of to the Star Trek thing again and use Paul's Sovereign and my Galaxy build. Each one of them builds has been custom made for the ship that we're running. And you can't run it on another ship. It won't work. We experimented with it and we tried. That Sovereign build... The Sovereign build won't work on my setup. My Galaxy build will not work on his Sovereign, And thanks to Chris, I have expanded into the DPS world. Trevor's definitely the DPS world. Paul is learning it from Chris. So Chris is still here. He just now does training due to, life, and that's fine. So with that being said, I hope Star Wars grows. I hope both of these servers grow. I would like to see that take off. That would be another option for members to play. Now, if you're a member and you're only comfortable in Armored Warfare, that's fine. No big deal. If you want to play the other games, awesome. We have these other games.
Out right now, sorry to cut you off, but right now, Trevor currently holds the keys because we don't want to scare people off that this is a free-to-play player guild. Once I did, and I am actually going to do it, I'm going to subscribe to the game late December, and he'll pass the keys back over to me so that we can keep it as a non-free-to-play guild. Apparently people are like, ooh, free-to-play guild, so we're trying to keep that away.
And that's fine.
And the other reason for that is being a free-to-play guild, there's certain things you don't have access to, which with my subscription and me being the guild master, as they call it over there, that unlocks everything for us. So, there's no issue, if I pass it to him, he passes it to me, everything stays. It's just, like right this second, if I pass it to him, well, then we lose the ship, because that's something a free to play guild can't access, and the fleet bank and stuff like that. So, but I've worked with Gage here the last couple times that I've been home, and there's been no issue so far. So,
and that's the thing about it. I don't worry about things like that because this guild has always respected one another, and that's a big thing, I think. I'm not worried about Gage leading the Star Wars division or Trevor holding the keys to it, or if it was vice versa, because I know that there's not going to be a problem there. For example, Paul and Wrecker both have access to my account in Stowe. Wrecker also can access my account on Armored Warfare. I'm not worried about that because you don't see people going around behind everybody else just to stab them in the back for some reason. If there's a problem, say Gage Wrecker has a problem, they'll talk it out. They'll fix it. Me and Psycho have a problem. We'll talk it out. We fix it. You know,
We're
that's
all
just
here
how
for
we
the
work
same
here.
reason.
And I'm gonna encroach on that, and it's nothing. We understand not everybody is comfortable sharing account information or sharing their computer.
Oh, we're not encouraging people to either.
And that's fine. Right, we're not encouraging that. But if you are comfortable with it, that's up to you. We're not trying to say you have to be comfortable with it.
I would actually discourage you from doing it. And I only say this for the sheer reason that I ran a company in World of Warcraft for I think it was like 5 years. And my most trusted fucking person, he's like, hey man, let me hop on your mage. I need to enchant some gear. I'm like, yeah dude, no problem. Hop back on my character the next night, all my gear was gone. He disenchanted all my shit on all of my characters, gone. All my gold, everything. I'm not saying every person is trustworthy. Just I do not encourage you sharing passwords for anything.
But see, and here's the thing. There's certain people I have gave this to, like my account information to, but I've known them for quite some time now, and most of you I have talked to outside of this game, and a lot of you, there's some people that go talk to other people about personal lives, they need to vent, they have problems, and that's something else we try to do here other than just a gaming thing. We do try to look out after each other as much as we can. It's just so much more than gaming. We want to build a relationship where everybody has fun, everybody knows each other, and can have fun. For example, the Smoke Cut channel that we have on Facebook. That is a nice relief throughout the day, sometimes just to chat on. Wrecker, Paul, you have anything you want to add? Paul, hopefully you're going to be back so we can have the 3 of the chain of command up top. Yes, for the people that are new here, I try to keep, yes, I am the leader, but I always, when there's a decision to be made, try to talk to people. Like, right now we have Paul and Wrecker, and we kind of use it as a 3-way, so there's someone to vote about. Yeah, there's always a vote, on big decisions.
New player left.
Let me guess, we're gonna have Gorn jokes now, right?
Later.
Indiana Jones in the Temple of Gorn.
Shut up, Gage.
As for the account stuff and that, I gotta give a couple of you guys all my stuff for when I'm not home.
No.
I think I have your Star Wars. No, not Star Wars. Maybe that was Vega. No. I don't know. It's wrote down somewhere. Or maybe I covered it. I don't know.
The biggest.
Speaking of accounts, for SWOTOR, it is you have the options to activate 2-factor verification via a security key. These things have just gone free it's an app you drop on your Android or iPhone or whatever the heck you use. Not only does it increase the security of your account, but according to, I think, Reb, you get 100 free cartel coins per month. And if you're subscribing, that's on top of the 500 cartel coins you're already getting. So
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, I just signed up for that, and I got 100 free cartel coins.
It works a lot like
a lot of time for Zen.
I know Google had a thing like that. I don't know if they still do or not, but basically, like on your loading screen, you put in your username, your password, and then you open up your cell phone, tap your app. There'll be a 6-7 digit number. You punch in that number, then you can log in.
And that number resets every 5 minutes or every minute. So it's not like you're gonna get somebody spamming into your account, because it is actually linked to your account when you sign up for the app.
Yeah, the first time you run the app, you have to log into the website, and then under your account, then you punch in a number from your account that's listed on the website, and then I can't remember if there's one on your phone that you put in on the website, and it links the two so that the app knows what kind of cipher to run to generate your code every time.
You know what? I can guide people through as needed. Basically, the long story is you download it, install it. It asks for a serial code. You go into the SWOTOR site, you grab that serial code, drop it into the app. It then starts generating codes. You copy the code that comes up, put it on the website, and you're good to go.
I'm hoping Paul actually makes a return this year to help out with everything. Poor Wrecker, he's been doing a lot this year.
Good, because I was doing a lot for like 2 years when you were whatever.
I'm here a lot, somehow, between working 60 hours a week, I'm somehow here. I don't know how.
That's where I'm at, 60 to 70 a week.
So I have to give Wrecker credit. He's definitely stayed on top of things, and if there's a problem, he contacts me and lets me know. But, you always did too, so that was good.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. I am going to ask specifically Daz, Paul, and Farmer. You guys have contacts through old players that at least I don't have contact with anymore. Try and get them to come back. Tell them, let them know we're into new games, and it's only going to help us grow. If they don't want to come back, that's fine, but at least let them know we're into some new stuff, and we're trying to grow, and maybe we can get maybe we can get some of them to come back.
I tried, but they're like, is that Wrecker guy still there? And I'm like, yeah, and they're like, fuck, deal breaker.
Yeah.
And, when you contact them, say, hey, you return, your rank is reinstated to whatever that rank was, and we go from there. So, with that being said, I think 2017 is going to be an interesting year. There will be one more meeting in December sometime for the contest, and then we'll have a end of the year meeting where all the division commanders kind of have an idea of what they want to go over and what they want to do. But I'm hoping to see this grow. And I'd like to see the 3 divisions we're in now take off and grow. I'd love to see Star Trek back up to where it was. At one point we had 5 to 10 members on all the time. I'd like to see that again. I think it was last Saturday or last Sunday I was on. I seen Armored Warfare with people in it. Star Trek had people in it. Star Wars had people in it. That was good. That is what I would like to see. As we grow and do this, I want to make sure that all members continue knowing each other, and I don't want issues between divisions coming up. So division commanders, just keep an eye out for that as that happens. All right, I'm going to open it for, and something that Korg mentioned earlier, where the question and answers, I don't remember if you sent that to me, but if you would, that would be great. And the other division commanders will be getting with Jens and probably do a question and answers, how can I grow, what can be done, and then we're going to post that on the forums. So when people log in, say, there are times people, say, okay, so what is your website address? So they log in and they look around and see what's going on, and, maybe some of the questions get answered. And please continue making posts on the forums. It looks so much better with posts being made than not being made. That looks like a dead group when there's no posts made on the forums. So it's important that we keep this posting going, even though it's almost like old technology, but some people look at that to see what's going on. So let's keep using that.
And another thing, too, we need to keep an eye on, which I noticed a lot in the past. I don't know how Armored works, but I know in Stowe, we can see when the last time you logged on was. We got to remember, I know we're trying to grow our numbers, but stagnation numbers are not numbers that we need to keep, because we don't need new members coming in. And I know I used to be the same way. I'd join a new fleet, clan, guild, whatever, and I'd be like, oh, wow, this guy hasn't been on for 135 days, and this guy hasn't been on for 128 days, and this guy hasn't been on for 90 days, and I'd just leave. Like they've got like half their membership hasn't been on it for half a year.
Yeah, and we're actually getting ready to do a fleet cleaning and stuff.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm getting at. Make sure your members that say they can't use TeamSpeak, because I know you probably don't see them log off and on as much as the ones who do use TeamSpeak, because you're not paying them as much attention as you probably should, just because they're not right there in your ear every day. And try to keep a note of that. You know, I mean, I know it sounds kind of foolish, but you know, almost keep a notepad next to you. Who logs in normally? You know, and you see a new guy log in, you know, kind of keep track of when he actually hops on, because that person could go snagging on you and you don't even know it.
And the thing, kind of add to that, if you know you see these people log on, don't just watch them. Talk to them.
Yeah, be like, hey man, you ever get a headset yet? You ever get a microphone yet? You want to TeamSpeak, dude? There's like 4 of us in here right now. We're running battles together. Jump on in.
You know, and if they're a little uncomfortable with the TeamSpeak thing, just talk to them. You know, maybe run a couple easy STFs or run a couple missions with them. You know, and it may take a couple days. I've seen that happen. You know, where you run the STFs and they won't start wanting help with shit. But yes, well, I can help you with this, but it's a lot easier if you just listen to what I'm telling you on TeamSpeak.
And don't do like I used to do and drop millions of fucking ISK on new guys.
No.
Don't do that.
Nope.
Well, let me just say
not anymore.
Not anymore.
One of the things, especially on the KDF side, when you're not logged in, I have sent private messages to members, and they don't respond back. And at first, the first instinct is, because I'm military, is, well, you know what, if I demote you or I take you out of the fleet, maybe that will get your attention. But then common sense kicks in. No, you can't do that. So,
in that case, Korg, you just need to keep track of their, you know, like, oh yeah, on, you know, say, at 11:10, I messaged, you know, Rage, and he didn't message me back. And then you saw him on next month around the same time, and he still don't message you back. It might be somebody that we really don't need and is just using us for his advantage.
Right. Well, see, one of the things, too, I realize, too, is because we are an international fleet. A lot of times, man, they may not even be able to read English, more or less speak it. So that's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I mean, I've had people who speak multiple language in many games message me, and I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying. I at least try to type something back. So at the same time, you're just being ignored at that point.
I would agree with you, Korg. Hold on just a second, if you don't mind. I would agree with what Korg says, but everyone that comes here gets recruited after we talk to them. So they have to understand English to join the group, or because if they read our message and then they don't PM us because they don't understand it. That's okay. Ava is one. He speaks English, but it is he's learning. But he still puts the effort forth, and he still comes in when he's here.
And same with Brendog, who's in here right now. I can almost promise you, he only understands about half of what we're saying, but he's still here.
Right. But like I said, you have to, before you jump the gun, you have to give the benefit of the doubt. Because we don't want to be hard-nosed, but we want to be understanding, and but we want to be disciplined also. So that's one reason why I don't really say anything. I just kind of wait and see how it plays out. But that's why I'm mentioning it right now.
If you put something, especially you or me or Rage, you can put something in the officer comments so you don't have to keep a notepad. Hey, I talked to this person. Once, twice, or just put the date that you have and just update the officer comments. It can be a really long list in that officer comments spot.
Gotcha.
And if we see it's not, if we see we're getting no interaction, Rage, Paul, myself, or even you, hey, look, if you don't get a hold of us within
30 days,
30 days or whatever it is, we're going to kick you from the fleet.
Gotcha.
And then it's on their court. Then it's
You
in
need to
their
let them
ball.
know we are an interactive fleet. We are not a parking place. If you want to interact with us, great. We welcome that. If you just want someplace to park, I'm sure there's plenty of fleets out there for you.
Exactly. We're not,
Hey, and if they want to be in the fleet and park, you need to tell us. We'll give you a rank that's commensurate with being a parking attendant.
Yeah, it's called ensign.
And you also don't want those parking fuckers in here anyways, not to be rude. Because for the sheer fact that, remember back, what was it, a couple years ago, we had some guys that parked in here. They were causing all kinds of fucking stupid shit. We had people fucking bitching at us in game and STFs. Because so-and-so said this and this, and I'm like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Exactly. We didn't even know who they were.
Exactly, not a clue, because they never logged into TeamSpeak. They never interacted with us in clan chat, global chat, nothing.
And that goes back to what I said, a while back. If Joe Smo is out there and he's running his mouth and we don't know who
Fucking
Joe Smo is, exactly, and he's causing this problem, then, he has no place here, period. All right, let's try to wrap this up. Anyone here have any questions, suggestions that they would like to make? JFB, I know you're new. Sorry, meetings don't happen all the time like this. You just happen to log on the day that these were happening. So, I know it's been kind of long. So does anyone have any questions or anything?
Two quick things. Paul, check on TeamSpeak, and Rage, I know what I'm getting you for Christmas. For how much you're talking about grow, I'm going to get you some Miracle Grow.
Are you going to get some Miracle Grow? There you go.
Hey, if I wanted Miracle Grow, I'd buy some from work. I stock the crap. I don't need any.
That's Viagra he needs.
Transfer.
So that's Miracle Grow.
Oh, jeez. New guys, older members, let me rephrase that have been here for a while.
Yes!
Yes, old boy!
What? I can't hear you. You gotta speak up.
I can't hear you, boy.
And Stowe, just to mention, if you have questions about the Christmas event, Hannibal is probably the best person to talk to about that. You're welcome, Hannibal, by the way.
We'll make money hand over fist if you want to get in on this ride.
Ooh, he said fist.
Calm down, Gage.
All right, Psycho, you got anything you want to add?
Well, if I actually get this code for the T-62 vet, I can donate that as a prize for Armored Warfare side if somebody wins it. So that's not an issue.
Nice, Trevor.
I know.
Little Tank, do you have anything you'd like to add about recruitment? Little Tank's not even been here the whole time. We've been praising him. He's not even here.
I think LT's falling asleep.
Giggity.
May have.
Giggity.
Bootleg, you have anything you want to add to the conversation?
No.
I don't know. I mean, I heard y'all mention War Thunder when I first logged in. I know it was late.
We have a group there, but it's been a really long time since we have actually been active there. I would like to get us back into War Thunder at some point.
I like to get us back into World of Tanks, but now that Armored Warfare is here.
Actually, I mentioned that in the beginning of the conversation if you would have been here.
I was outside playing with my fire, drinking beer. Thank you very much.
Oh, excuse.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here with the little lady and drinking my whiskey, so.
Speaking of beer, I'll be right back. I need another.
I got another game, another try out. It's Dead by Daylight. If any of you guys are playing it, it's fun. It's a little bit unbalanced right now, but it's.
You just want to be the killer.
No, actually.
Oh,
no.
heads
I
up.
need
Yeah,
more
for those
people to survive with me, because if you can be in a 4-man team in TeamSpeak, you can buff the killer really well. And at the moment, the game is designed to make easy mode for 8-year-old killers. So being a survivor is a challenge. Come play with me. I'm not playing until I can get a 4-man team in TeamSpeak because of the situation became
New player.
Ridiculous.
Come play with us, Rage, forever and Dev.
Oh God.
But yeah, if you're interested,
I've
if you
not
have
even
it in
seen the
your,
movie, and that freaks me out.
if you have it in your library, let me know.
Okay.
'Cause I've got a prestige guy.
Nice.
I'm back.
Skip, do you have anything you'd like to add or questions?
Nope. I ask questions when I got them, make suggestions when I get them.
See, and
It's a good
before we
philosophy.
end this, we always welcome suggestions and input in this group. And it don't matter what it is. You'll even hear me ask people if they have an idea for something. So just keep that in mind. If no...
Oh, I do have a bunch of tanks on War Thunder, so if anyone wants to go over there to play, invite me along.
And for those of you who like getting free stuff, Humble Bundle's doing. It's the third year. It's Dirt 3's third birthday. The complete edition is available for free, and it is linked through Steam.
If it's on Humble Bundle, it's a small donation.
Nope, this one was free.
Oh, really?
I got it free.
Sometimes
You have the option to drop $5 into a charity, but I just selected here's $5 to my wallet, so nothing ever got to that wallet. So yeah.
Sometimes Humble Bundle do free stuff occasionally.
Well, since everybody has added anything they wanted to,
Donuts.
We will we'll adjourn the meeting.
There is a few
be
more
listening.
things.
What you got, Daz?
Gage, I know quite a few on Star Wars that might be able to pass along a few ideas for you as well. I will get hold of them and get them in contact with you via the forums if you want.
It's stop recording Rage.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. I want Rab to go over. Hey, Rab, do you want to talk about Bastion?
Give me a minute, but yeah, sure.
Okay.
Whoa, shit, Rab.
As he catches up, Daz, you said you needed help with the game. Do you have it installed or anything?
I'll speak to you after that one. Let's just say I've had a few glitches along the way, but I'll tell you about
Solve having problems right now. Uninstall the entire thing. Get a fresh copy of the launcher and start going. Trust me, you're looking at 30 gigs.
Yeah, there is something I'm still really lost on, and I'd really love clarification on it. Daz.
Paul.
How are you about ready to become a father again?
No, we're not even going to go there. We're not even going to go there.
Oh, no. Okay, the other thing, I still want Rab to go over his thing.
Calculators, and I still don't come up with the right numbers.
We'll speed up.
Well, that's because you're not doing what I do. You see, I found the answer to this, Paul, by dividing by 0.
Sweet. Okay. Let Rab go over what he needs to.
Rage, Psycho, Wrecker, bottom of TeamSpeak.
Yeah, I saw it.
Alright guys, basically, we do have the one over on the Bastion server on Star Wars. I mean, that was our original server when we first started. It's kind of been sitting there, but I've kind of kept it going. So if anybody wants to go on that server, because it's based, since that one's a PvP server, you know, you actually, you got more chances of actually going against other players and whatnot.
What's this now?
Bastion, Star Wars.
Oh.
That server is PvP, Paul, so if you like ganking people in the open, that's really
He does.
Yeah, I do.
So that could be your server.
All right. Well, for the people that didn't get to catch all the meeting, Daz will be posting a link up on the forum so that you can listen to it.
I will do.
Be paying.
Along with making pictures.
Yes. It's whatever makes Paul happy. Pay attention for the date for Christmas, the Christmas event / the end of the year meeting. You know, we'll be posting dates and talking to people, see when this works best. Probably right after Christmas or right before Christmas. Just it'll be on a weekend. I know the 24th, obviously not. I think the next weekend is probably New Year's Eve, so we may do the weekend before. But we'll talk to everybody and see what works best and keep you up to date. With that, we'll adjourn this meeting.
Yeah, speaking of nudity, well, Rage, my recording has been recording your character with a bird in its legs.
Hey man, you stop looking at my bird. Stop looking.